Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am still just floating from the amazing time I had in Edinburgh last week. It was magical. Have you been there? Do you know the city? I feel like it's the best kept secret in the world, or at least the best kept secret from me. I don't know let me correct that. I do know what it was. It's beautiful. It's so walkable. In fact, I walked 126,000 steps over 6 days, which is like 60 miles, while also attending a 2-day seminar where I was sitting a lot of times, and I enjoyed beautiful dinners and time with friends and whiskey tastings and gin tastings. It was so fun. So there was ample sitting and yet so much walking. The weather was glorious. It's such a beautiful green city. There are parks and gardens everywhere and castles and palaces and water. It's just a magical, magical place. And I think the other thing that made it so delightful for me was that I realized I have not traveled internationally to an English-speaking country in 25 years. So there's just this beautiful certainty that comes with everyone speaking your language and knowing that I could make friends with anybody, anywhere, and not feel bad. This is interesting, isn't it? What we do to ourselves in that tricky place that's called our mind. I feel guilty that I love France so much and I don't speak French fluently. And that was completely removed on this trip. So I will be seeing a lot more of Edinburgh in my future, and Edinburgh will be seeing a lot more of me. Oh my gosh. If you guys want to come here, I would love to plan a trip. It would be so fun. You're going to love it. Okay. Speaking of love, I am back in Massachusetts, back at the Phineas Wright House. I have farm stay guests this weekend. I am right back in the thick of it. The grass grew so much while I was gone. The peach blossoms are showing off. It's going to be a great year for our pears and our peaches and our blueberries and all the yummy things. I'm just delighted to be away and delighted to be home and super delighted to be here with you. And I think you will be delighted with today's guest. She's so fun. She's so cool. She has really beautiful energy, so much energy. You're really going to love her. Maria Watson is the founder of YouChews, and she exemplifies that entrepreneurial spirit has no age limit. At 69 years old, after a personal journey of transformation, Maria launched YouChews, a company redefining how we consume caffeine and supplements. Her flagship product, the Coffee Chew, combines Kona coffee, cacao, and guarana to offer a balanced energy boost in chewable form, providing mental clarity with enhanced absorption and only 2 grams of sugar. With decades of expertise in wellness, Maria has been a leader in the industry since 1991. Her passion for health drives YouChews' mission to support brain, gut, and heart health with innovative chewable supplements, revolutionizing convenience and wellness. Guided by her motto, "You're never too old when you have natural energy," Maria is at the forefront of a growing trend in chewable supplements, promoting vibrant living at any age. She's so fabulous. I know you are going to love this conversation with Maria Watson. Maria, I am absolutely delighted to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, that is so sweet. I love to talk, so we're going to do well.
Yes, we are. So please tell everybody as we get this conversation started, how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Well, I have to go back to 1987. And in
Perfect.
1987, on August 22nd, my 3-year-old son was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh
And
my
I had
God.
2 other children, but nothing mattered. I was so angry at God. I was so angry at the world. And for 3 years, I was on suicide watch. I was told that I was never going to be normal again. I was overly medicated. And honestly, by the grace of God, I believe that I used to go to this tanning salon because my face was so broken out because I was so toxic from all this medication and all the anger. All those feelings surfaced to my face. So I
Right.
would go to this tanning salon thinking that I could dry up my face, but it really was a hard 20 minutes because when I would lay in that bed and I would think about Joshua, I couldn't breathe. So I'd go, and then I'd start praying really hard. So it was this weird, break in each day that I would have to go through this. So one day I walk in and it's February 11th, 1991. I walk into the same tanning salon and there is a bodybuilder there handing out these drink samples. So obviously, if I was trying to kill myself, I didn't really care what was in it. So I just took it, drank it. I went into the bed like I always did. And I realized the blackness, the weight in my head was gone. I was
Oh,
thinking about Joshua and I was breathing. So I come running out of that bed and I'm like zipping up my jeans. What in the heck was in that drink? And he's like, he thinks I'm mad.
right.
No, 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 no. I've got $2,000 worth of space on my credit card. I want $2,000 worth of that powder.
Mm,
Well, that was a network marketing company, and it was his first day. And he just made a $2,000 sale, and he doesn't even know how to fill out the order form. So I'm
awesome.
like, give me that order form. I know exactly what. So I went home to Joshua's dad, who is now my ex-husband, and I told him I was so excited that I was going to be normal again.
Yeah.
And I remember the look on his face was half sad, half angry, like I had been duped and that somebody sold me a bill of goods and it wasn't going to work.
Sure.
So I begged him to give me 2 weeks because their return policy, I could send it all back, but give me 2 weeks. Well, it was 2 days later, I had a hair appointment with a lady I had never met. And so I'm doing really well. I've got my 2 days of powder in me. I walk into the hair salon and she says, I'm sorry, I'm not myself today. My cousin committed suicide yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm looking at her going, oh, I got this powder. You can
Right.
try this powder. You're going to be fine. So I mixed it for her and she drinks it and she starts doing my hair. And all of a sudden, her face changes. She's talking to me. And she's like, oh my God, I've got to tell my husband about this stuff. The moral of the story is I ended up building a business in a network marketing company for 3 years, and I never understood the pay plan. And the circles and the squares were just not my thing. All I cared about was making people never be depressed again, or helping people.
Mm.
So after 3 years of building this monumental business, they changed the formula. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, it didn't work anymore.
Hmm.
And my entire business was crumbling because the product didn't work anymore. So in
Sure.
1994, I went into manufacturing because not I had studied so much during those 3 years about why does this stuff work? So as I
Right.
learned the actives, and I have no science background, I have no nothing, just I was so passionate about helping people. So
Sure.
I went into manufacturing so that I could control the quality of what I'm putting in my body and other people's bodies. So
Sure.
the journey started in a way that I can't describe. I started a brand. I didn't know how to start a brand. I made so many mistakes, and there was no social media then. There was no nothing. I was just like telling people my story, how I got there, and the business grew.
Well, sure, you're so charismatic. Like I'm ready to buy it and that's you don't even sell it anymore.
Yes. So I ended up selling that company and then working for the owner who bought the company because I felt like I could do better at sales instead of trying to manage inventory. That was just
Sure.
not my thing, and books and math and all that stuff that I didn't want to do. So anyway, the journey keeps going. Then I ended up selling my shares to her, and I was like done with being on stage and all that. So then I went to work with my current husband in a vitamin company that was a direct to consumer, very respected vitamin company. So I brought my formulations in to his business, and then I started a medical brand, and that was in the year 2000.
Okay.
So I built this medical brand, and I was so comfortable with talking to doctors about how to incorporate supplements into the wellness of the patient sitting in front of them because they really don't know this world or how to incorporate it. So that journey began. And then my husband decided that the regulatory landscape was getting questionable. They were clamping down. So he sold the company. And
Oh,
I'm like going, excuse me, I'm not ready to retire. That was in 2010. And so then I'm sitting around, I made it for 3 weeks and I was going crazy. I couldn't spend the energy that I had. There was nobody to talk to.
sure.
So anyway, I was hired by a nitric oxide company, and I ended up developing with a whole team at that company Super Beats. I don't know if you've ever heard of Super Beats, but it's a powdered product and you drink it and it creates nitric oxide. So I started really learning. That was like my newest fascinating, wow, you
Right. And why would I want that? Why would I want to create nitric oxide?
because it's a vasodilator. So circulation within minutes. Well, a runner, exerciser person, anybody that wants more stamina, that product was amazing. So I had a 2-year contract there. They wanted me to teach them how to sell to doctors. So that was really fun. And then I did that. And then I ended up starting my own brand again. And then we had sold the vitamin company, but we didn't sell the building. So I had a manufacturing plant, and I thought, how hard could this be? I'll just go run a manufacturing business.
Right. Nothing stops you.
Well, but oh my goodness gracious, it's a 55,000 square foot building, and I've got 12 employees. Like the whole thing was a little, but it's a good lesson in don't be afraid of bigger,
You're talking to the right girl.
because you can always fail. It's okay to fail. I learned so much during that time, but the really humbling lesson who do you think you are? Like, why do you think you can walk into this massive building? So I walked away from that. We did an asset sale. I walked away from that and I thought, okay, now what? I have an incredible amount of faith. And every Friday when it was payroll in that company, I would sit and look out at the Sierras and just pray. And inevitably, while I'm praying, my phone would ring and it would be somebody wanting to do a deal with me. So they would pay a deposit and I would make payroll. But it was so humbling to walk away from that and learn what I'm good at and what I'm not good at.
Sure.
Because I'm not good at all that management stuff. Like, I don't actually do well managing people because I don't understand how to talk to somebody that doesn't want to work. Like, I don't even get it. Why do I have to ask you to do something? Just do it.
Right. And how does that even play out with where you live half of the year?
Well, yes, in the summer, it is Lake Tahoe. So I get my desk and I look at pine trees. And in the
Right.
winter, I live on the Big Island. I sit at my desk and I look at a palm tree.
Right, which is just so funny because in my experience, and this could be a broad generalization, but having people that want to work on an island, those two things don't always go together.
Well, the joke around here is that if the surf is good, none of the employees show up.
Right.
I don't have what I love about my world right now, and what I love about this newest adventure on this chew is because as I'm coming through all these things I'm sharing with you, and I'm creating pills and powders and liquids and everything you could think of, because I'm a solution based formulator. Like, what is it we need to fix? And then let me go figure out which ingredients will fix it. So I was actually at my home in Hawaii and I am getting an acupuncture treatment because I had been walking 6 miles a day and my plantar fasciitis. So all of a sudden, I couldn't do this thing that I loved so much. So my brain, once again, is thinking, how do I fix this? So I go to the acupuncturist and she tells me, I don't even know this woman. I'm laying on a bed with tons of needles in me. And she knew that I was in the vitamin business. And she says, you've got to meet this guy. He just purchased a plant, or I guess he owned it, but he purchased all this equipment to make chews, little Starburst candies. Well, only because of my efforts at the first nitric oxide company did I know that the world was trending at that time towards gummies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I start putting two and two together and I'm thinking, I got to meet this guy. What is that equipment capable of doing? Because the trick is how much active can you put in any given form factor. Like, the protein shakes, they are shakes because the dose is too big to put it in something else.
Sure.
What I was fascinated with is gummies have a teeny tiny, like impossible to do anything beneficial. They have a teeny tiny payload. In fact, I created this one product and it would have taken 60 gummies to get that same dose. And now you've loaded your body up with sugar. So
Sure.
the fascination in YouChews for me was that amount of space that I had. So right now we started with something simple. It is a coffee chew. And the reason I wanted to start there is because I love Kona coffee.
Right.
But secondly, the convenience of being able to get your caffeine, but you don't have to go stand in line. You don't have to get in the car. You don't have to turn on the coffee maker. And for me, on my daily schedule, I have my cup of coffee in the morning. That's it. The coffee pot's off. So I just fell in love with the simplicity of a coffee chew. So, and I'm excited for you to try it.
Me too.
Throw it in your purse and wait till you get to see what else I'm going to do in this form factor because it's got less than 2 grams of sugar.
Oh, amazing.
I have a base now that I can put in all these nutrients at levels that will do something. So anyway, that was a very long way for me to tell you where I've been and where I came from, and but I loved you are giving me a chance to share that what I think my story can say to anybody listening is it's okay to fail, it's okay to hurt, it's okay to give up occasionally, but you got to come out the other side because there's that dark hole can just get deeper and deeper and deeper. And you know, for me, it's my faith because I had to get in touch with what is it I control? I don't control anything. I don't control
Right.
weather. I don't control my husband. I don't control how people act. You know, like sometimes I'm in the gym and people do not close the door. I don't get it. You opened it to come in. Why can't you close it so the air conditioner works? So I think that if there are people of faith of any kind, just realize you are not here by accident. My goodness gracious, I tried to kill myself for 3 years. Apparently, that's not the plan because
Right.
I'm here and I've had
Right.
this incredible journey. So blessed. When I wake up in the morning, no matter which house I'm in, I have this feeling of gratefulness. I live in gratitude of
Yeah.
I get to create, I get to work each day, I get to go to the gym. Everything is such a blessing. And I think if you live in that mindset and you get excited to get up each day, even though you don't know what you're going to do, I never know who's going to show up in my life, but I pay attention.
Right.
Supposed to meet you. Am I supposed to talk to you? And if it goes nowhere, then okay, apparently that one wasn't the magic holy grail. But I can't encourage people enough to, and I know it sounds silly, believe in yourself. What do you love? Whatever you love, like I love creating products, handing them to you, and watching it transform you so you feel it. Like, I don't just want to make pills and powders and tell you to go take it. That I did that too many years. Now, this chapter, I want to make things that make your life better. And that giving, I think if people get out of woe is me and get into how can I help other people? What is it I know how to do that can help other people? Everybody will wake up so excited and the money will follow.
Right. Yeah, I think, there's nothing more important than how we feel. So the fact that you are creating these products and first you experience these products that changed how you felt, whether that was, coupled with mindset and faith and these supplements that altered your thoughts, that was the runway for all of this creativity and all of this goodness that came out of that. And then the momentum of that. So you feel better, you're doing things in contribution and in service, which just makes you an idea factory, which takes one to know one. And you are just continuing to go up and up and up, but it is all hinged on how we feel.
Yep. And I so agree with you that I mean, I have days
Well, of course.
where I'm like, what am I doing? And I have other days that I am bursting on that elliptical with so much joy that I want to just spill it on everybody that walks in that gym, because I now look around and see people, no matter what their weight, no matter what their height, no matter what they're wearing, God bless them. They are alive. And the alternative choice, I'm not ready for it. I'm not afraid of it either. When it happens, it happens. But for now, I've never been one that lived in the present. I always planned everything. And I can't do that anymore.
How are you implementing practicing presence now?
I do a lot of breathing, and
Now, say more about that because obviously everybody breathes. Otherwise, we're not practicing anything. So, say more about intentionally paying attention to your breath.
so here's how my life works. I'm in San Diego at a medical conference, and the doctor is telling me, one of the doctors that's speaking is sitting having a glass of wine with me, and he tells me about taping my mouth shut. And I'm like going, you are nuts. I'm not going to tape my mouth shut. But I listen and I respect the living daylights out of this guy. So I go home that evening back to my hotel room and I call my husband because he's at a convention for investments in Las Vegas. So I call him like I do all the time. And I said, you're not going to believe what Stephen told me. He told me to tape my mouth shut. He was in the seminar at that investment group. They had the author of the book Breath, who was on stage telling my husband and all the people in the room about taping their mouth shut.
Oh, my word.
Like, really? He meets the guy, blah, blah. So I come home and we start doing it. And the purpose of it, which I can't tell people enough about this book, Breath. I got the audio. I'm listening to it the second time. I was already kind of on the verge of learning this present thing. But goodness gracious, that breathing, the reason you tape your mouth shut is to force you to breathe through your nose. And the nose is this filter. So all these things that go wrong, and the brain and the nervous system and your blood pressure, it all responds to this pace of slow breathing. So it's just, I think things are given to me in such strange ways, but just receive it. It doesn't matter if you don't stick with it. It doesn't matter. Just keep learning and keep being open-minded, because I think we get into these ruts of patterns, which if you don't disrupt it, you go to your grave like that.
Right.
I mean, it's okay to want your same pillow and your same bed, but every once in a while, shake it up.
And how are you shaking it up?
Well, I always dance. I dance around the house. We've got like the stereo system, and I'll blast Rod Stewart, but not Rod Stewart like the current guy. He just created these albums of old time songs, really old, like Moon River. And so I just love this. So many of those songs were in my childhood.
Mm.
So the dancing and the party is because I made it this far. 69 years old. That's like old people were 69, and I'm not old.
No, you are not.
So anyway, I shake it up like that. I just want to celebrate. And I'm a fasting. I do intermittent fasting. I fast for 19 hours a day. That counts sleep time.
Okay.
I don't eat until 3 o'clock. And that's when I'll do my dancing and I'll have my glass of wine at 4. I mean, I do have a little bit of a pattern, but I did a pace of aging test with a laboratory where we drew blood. The owner of the lab called me and said, we tested your blood twice. We have never seen numbers like you. I'm aging at 0.58 for every calendar year. Now, I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's all the supplements I take. So I tell him about everything that I take and everything
Right.
that I make. He doesn't budge. Then I said, I do intermittent fasting. And he goes, that's it. That's the secret to allowing your cells to repair all day because you're not making your body digest food. And the data that is published on disease reversal with fasting only requires like 16 hours. That's not hard if you count when you're asleep.
Right.
And the benefits are published. The scientific data is out there about the benefits of fasting. So, the thing that I find really cool is if you just focused on nothing else but your health, your own health, start there. Because when you're healthy, you have the energy to go do stuff. I mean, not to
Right.
mention that if you need some caffeine, I have a really easy way to get it. But I'm just saying that I think when you described your audience, like I don't know if you can tell, but I believe I have found the secret. It's purpose.
Hmm.
If you have purpose in your life and it is a passionate purpose, I don't care if it's cleaning the streets, you have a thing to do every day and you love to do it. So just like you with that microphone, you are smiling and happy.
I can't imagine someone not smiling and happy in your energy. It's so contagious. You're so charismatic. You're so, um, like you said, living on purpose, but also with a passion to share what is working for you and to encourage others to jump in. The water's great. And I love that. I love that. What are you finding? What are you finding in the people that you're meeting now that you think is missing for them?
Probably faith. I don't mean religious faith. I mean faith that you are supposed to be here.
Right.
I feel like the people that have, and I do pay attention. I've had so many people pour out their hearts to me that has nothing to do with vitamins. Like vitamins aren't the solution of that particular conversation,
Right.
but supplements help you get well. And I think you can't find the energy to go find the purpose, to go do the thing if you don't start with. I mean, I watch people that envy my energy. Well,
Mm-hmm.
here's the secret, go do something. It's that same, how do you not go look for what you're supposed to do and then have the faith that you're going to know. Let me tell you something. I'm really convinced that when I think something's right and it just isn't working, it's not supposed to. So God closes that door so fast and sometimes slams it. And I
Yeah.
have to sit back and say, but it felt so right. How
Mm-hmm.
could it be wrong? But it was. And later I see why.
Sure.
And I just think that if you have the faith to jump off that cliff, if you're supposed to hit the ground, you're going to hit the ground. If in the middle of the whole thing, a parachute opens, you were supposed to jump off that cliff. So that's what I find.
I agree. I think it's amazing. I love your enthusiasm and also the proven track record. So we can see how you like catapulted from the depths of despair because of this shift that happened physically inside your body. So, how would you suggest that someone says, okay, gosh, I'm in. Like, what do I need to do? How do I find my purpose? How do I, as you said, that's more step two, where step one is feeling better. How do we take control of our health if it's something that has been neglected or our bodies are changing? And like for me, I'm in menopause and it's like a mystery.
That is the question I get the most. How do I know what to do?
Mhm.
And the scary part is Google, because right now, Dr. Google tells people to do things and it's paid ads. It's not the truth. Where I believe is the safest place to do research is on a website called PubMed. And
Okay.
PubMed is medical publications. So if you search something, you're going to see the studies. Why that's critical is it doesn't do you any good to go to Costco and get 200 milligrams of something that the study says you won't get results unless you take 600. The game that is played, like what I'm like the girl who knows too much, because
Right.
the game that is played is you think you recognize that nutrient, but it's not in there at a level that's going to do anything. And then you give up when really the nutrient was the right thing you needed. You just needed a different amount.
Mm,
So, my recommendation is go to PubMed, read about fasting, what it can do. That's not a pill, a potion, that's a thing that is so easy to control. And you start feeling better because your body's repairing itself. It has the ability to repair, it does not have to break down. And I think the other thing I would recommend is that book, Breath,
mhm,
because the peace that comes with getting better and breathing slower,
mm,
amazing. Like how did I go this long and not know that I'm supposed to breathe out in my nose? Like I didn't know
right,
that. But I think start with feeling strong. However you have to get there, start with feeling strong. And then investigate things that interest you. Birds, flowers, beads, whatever it is, quilting. Find something that when you're doing it, it isn't laborious. It's
right.
just fun. Like you don't look like somebody that is laboring over this conversation.
No, Maria, I am only available for what delights me.
That's very well said. That's
Thank you.
very well said. And the word delight is such a happy word.
Isn't it?
It's got no weight to it. It's got no expectation. Delight. Wow.
And everyone gets to define it however they want because they know what it feels like.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's my takeaway from this conversation is because I feel delightful.
You are delightful.
Well, good.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Oh my goodness. Okay. I love this. You are just such a wealth of resource and information. Is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners? What do they need to know? And if not, just tell us how we can find and follow you, how we can have access to the caffeine chews. Like, tell us more about that.
So let's start with YouChews, YouChews. Now, I don't know anything about Instagram, or I don't even know how I get on Facebook, but somehow I get on Facebook. It would be great if people would follow us on Instagram. YouChews.
Sure.
I don't know. I wish I did know how to post and do things on Instagram. I just don't know how because I have so much to share. Like, I feel
Right.
like I've got so many health tips and so many things, but I don't know how to do that.
Oh, Queen. Okay. Have you read the book Who Not How by Dan Sullivan?
No, but I will.
Okay. because you don't need to figure out how to do that. You need a who. And there are so many who's, whether you are in Tahoe or on the island of Hawaii. In fact, I have a person and I'm going to connect you. Hold, please. Hold, please, listener, while I make this note. You know how I have two speeds. They are right now or not at all. Okay. I'm going to connect you, but you have just this amazing presence. Your Instagram's going to blow up. I'm super excited about that. So we will link to your Instagram and everything down in the show notes, but I think that's the other piece to this finding your purpose conversation is sometimes when we start like, okay, we have a momentum and we're going, we're like, I feel good and I have big dreams and I'm going to do all these things. And then like we hit that first speed bump, but I don't know how to do that. Oh my gosh, the tech. Oh my gosh, the website. Oh my gosh, the algorithm. Oh my, like all of the things. And I know that you're not a person that gets derailed by something like that, but often that can happen in our desire to create the lives that we want. And I find that this book in particular spoke of anything that you don't want to do or anything that you're procrastinating. It's not because you're being avoidant or you're not cut out for this big work. He says that it's because that's the universe telling you that somebody else is supposed to do this for you. And
I'll tell
I
you what,
love that.
not only do I agree with you, but while you were talking, when I have clarity, I have clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly was supposed to talk to you so you could help me. And what I have found interesting is the entire YouChews project is exposing me to people like you. And so, how amazing that a healthy starburst would expose me to people like you that can help the next chapter.
Right. Which is such a beautiful picture of how all of this works. Like we do not have to figure out the next 37 steps. We just take the next logical one. The next logical one that says, I got to get the word out. I need to get on some podcasts. I'm going to pitch this person to be on her podcast. Okay, but we never know what's going to come of that. All of my travels to France, I sit on the plane next to someone who introduces me to someone else, and then we're doing this, and then I find out there's an opera house in the Chateau de Versailles, and then we're go to the opera, and then I meet this person, and then we're doing this thing, and I didn't know I was going to go to the opera. I didn't know any of those things. It's just showing up for your life with curiosity and discovery and enthusiasm and surrender, not in the sense that we're giving up on something, but we're giving it over. We're giving it over to God. We're giving it over to the divine. The universe is guiding us and leading us and wooing us to our next divine appointment. And then we just get to pinch ourselves all day long to say, oh my gosh, we're at work right now. How? How have we created these beautiful, gorgeous, expansive lives for ourselves? By saying yes.
By saying yes. And you know what? Clearly, life is one foot in front of the other.
Yep.
Because when you start looking at the end game, which, it's okay to know it's there, but to focus on 6 months from now, you might not even be here 6 months from now. So go ahead and live today, enjoy it,
Right.
pinch yourself, say yes, yes, yes. Talk to people that try to talk to you because you're supposed to talk to them. Your seat
That's right.
on the plane is not an accident. You're in
Nope.
3B because you're supposed to sit next to 3C.
That's right. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. So when everyone looks at your Instagram, they're going to say, I don't know what she's talking about because this blew up. Well, now you know why, friends. So, how can we get our hands on these chews? The caffeine one, is that the only one that you have right now? The
Right now,
coffee?
oh, but they're coming. They're coming. So stay tuned. We've got about 6 solutions in a fun candy
Mm,
coming,
I love
and
that.
always made healthy. So, but youchoose.com is where you can order the chews.
Perfect.
Yes, this who, not how. Wow,
That's
the
right.
title of a book.
Right. And you know what's so awesome about this book? It's all of his principles and his teachings, but he wasn't really interested in writing a book. So somebody else wrote the book on his behalf. He who'd not how'd it, and now has this amazing resource. And they've written multiple books together, all based on Dan Sullivan's teachings. It's brilliant.
You know what? You just
Mm.
inspired me about something. I
Ooh,
have
say more.
always wanted to write a book about this journey and be able to put in the book the solutions that I've discovered about different health things because I don't know how to put it
Right.
in one place.
Right.
If somebody else could write about the despair, I went from, oh, and I'm going to use your word, I went from despair to delighted.
Mm.
And that, but it was a lot of years,
Right.
lot of years. And the patience, I didn't have, I'm not a very patient person. I'm like, I want it right this minute. And you know, now I'm going to copy you on this. It's either right now or not at all. Because if I
Right.
don't do the things in my notebook right now, I go off into outer space. And I,
Well, I have 47 new ideas.
yeah, yeah, I do. I spew them. My husband looks at me when I'm talking and I'm all excited and I want to share something with them. How do you have that many thoughts in your head, Maria? Why doesn't it explode? And it just never does.
It's awesome. Well, you can call me when he's had his fill.
Okay, you got it.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, so fun. I have loved this conversation. I'm so energized. I'm so full of ideas. I'm super excited to connect you with my person who just happens to live on the big island of Hawaii and is a internet marketing queen. Like, what in the world? What is happening?
You know what?
So good.
The irony, but that's not the right word. The
The synchronicity.
the fact that I meet you today and the fact that the conversation takes us where it did, and then she's on the big island. Okay, that's the universe, folks. That is not an accident. So pay attention.
No, that's right. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I could talk to you all day. Thank you so much for being here. You're fun.
Thank you. You gave me a voice. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.